My wallet is sobbing. I can hear it. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
It turns out that Attila, the arrogant so-and-so, he's got a fake hammer.
Oh, a fake?
Yeah.
Whoa. As I say, dick.
Welcome to episode 74 of the Your Legions podcast. This week we're going to talk about figures that go with legions, and we're also going to talk about the current state of our display rooms / collections. As I see Rich go, oh. Well, you know, we can always lie.
There's a reason that my pictures are ones from a year or so ago, John.
Yeah. Well, you know, you can show us the updated ones when they're done. And yeah, and we're recording slightly earlier than scheduled this week. I believe Mr. Richard Jones has a child-free house, and then he decides to go to somewhere else instead of having a nice night in with your wife.
No, we are. I'm still spending time with my wife, just away in a hotel.
Oh yeah. So. This is clear, yeah.
Yeah, meal out, stay in a hotel.
Oh, where's the Let's Get It On music?
Wow. Let's get it on.
Oh.
Yes,
well,
we have no family around us here, so babysitting is very slim on the ground. So you know, when she goes away, we're like, hey, let's go away.
True, yeah. Well, I'm very familiar with that. We had no babysitter basically the whole time when our kids were small. So yeah, it was particularly tricky. So yeah, you should enjoy that for sure. I'm glad you told us before and not, tomorrow night when basically we were about to record and you're like, oh no, I'm off on a night away with my wife.
Yeah. I'm actually in a restaurant at the moment. Sorry, can't actually record.
And that would be a shame, seeing as you have a lot of content that you want to talk about for Ghost of Legions. You are the Travis Bowles of this podcast for sure.
I was going to say, how dare you?
Oh, with his night away with his wife, I don't think we should be describing him like that.
Yeah, but on the plus side, you do get to watch England tomorrow as we record, Mal.
I do. I'm not sure that's a plot positive the way we're playing.
Or you get to watch them without being distracted by having to talk on a podcast at the same time, basically.
The last couple of games, we've equalised, and I've been like, oh no, not more.
You're like, I really love this figure. Oh no.
Oh, we equalised. Just want it to be over.
And have you recovered from the UK elections then? That seems all to have been done and dusted. Pretty clear victor.
I'm in a pretty good mood compared to what I was before the election. Let's put it that way. Giving away who I wanted to win. But yeah.
You both work in the civil service, so you know, despite the fact that you could say elections boring and all this kind of adult stuff that we shouldn't really be too concerned about, although we should. But it kind of has a direct impact on you boys, or it might, in terms of not in terms of your job, just in terms of how your job is.
It will definitely have an impact on me because Labour have a policy directly about the part of the civil service that I work for.
And it's not close it down.
It's not close it down. When Corbyn was in charge, it was close it down, which would never have happened. They'd just rebranded it. Whereas current Labour are like, no, we absolutely value what your organisation does. But we wouldn't just change this, and this.
Very good. And Mal?
I mean, it does and it doesn't. It affects the civil service as a whole. They've already shown a bit more interest and consideration for because we're basically their employees. Mm-hmm. And they've already shown a bit more,
Well, I've been watching a bit of the coverage.
Recognise our importance, let's put it that way.
Yes, I've been watching a bit of the coverage, and I love the whole pomp and ceremony thing about it. Even being Irish, I love the British pomp and ceremony about going to the King and going back to Downing Street, and it is quite fun to watch. It's quite a spectacle on TV. But my general overall impression is that the adults came back. It's like you have adults running the place again. They're not particularly exciting. They're not particularly going to change the world, but they are damn kind of straight up people that are going to do a bit of work, you know?
Yeah. With the Keir Starmer, the new Prime Minister over here, sent us all the civil servants a little email with a little message in. And it was like being spoken to by a proper grown-up who knows what they're talking about, as opposed to some sort of muppet in a blonde wig, which we've had for the last few years. You know, it's just like, no. So, yeah.
And there you go, America, all done and dusted in 6 weeks. You have another, 18 weeks until your charade goes on?
Yeah, and over here too, literally, I was watching some coverage of it and they showed the removal men taking all the previous Prime Minister stuff out of 10 Downing Street, 10 a.m. And then 3 p.m. they're moving all the new guys' stuff in. There's no 6 week handover or whatever it's in America. It's
and the guy, is it the Chancellor that lives next door? Oh, I saw him go with his family and he had these 2 lovely kids and he had his dog and his wife, and I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. But he's off to some mansion in Surrey or somewhere, you know, probably.
Yes, they're all millionaires, the Tories. Yeah. So none of them are exactly going to struggle.
That's true. They're not touch.
It's all their second jobs.
I'm glad for you. I'm glad for UK because when I went to visit you guys last year, I did feel a difference in your country compared to the previous time I'd been, which was a good while ago. It was maybe 10 years before that I had been over to UK for a few times, and it was definitely a different place. And now I know things change everywhere, but hopefully it'll change for the better again.
It will.
Fingers crossed.
If nothing else, we have to watch that prick Jacob Rees-Mogg stand up
he was funny.
Talk absolute twaddle in Parliament anymore. So
yeah, well, I'm sure people have seen the memes of the various like the Count Binface. Just go look up Count Binface on Twitter. Do yourself a favour. He was a candidate for
one of the best things about that picture, though, is the fact that Count Binface is there makes you ignore. I think that's the guy with the doctor's coat and a giant hat on.
Yeah.
And if it's not that one, it's the one with a ventriloquist and a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah. It was Elmo made the ventriloquist dummy just get completely ignored.
Yeah. You have 3 bizarre looking people up there, but the 4th one is so bizarre looking that nobody sees the other 3.
That's it. And Boris wasn't even there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You think Boris is crazy, guys? Come over here.
Maybe Boris is Count Binface.
Maybe he is. That'd be a sneaky way to get back in, wouldn't it?
Count Binface.
He does a tour and everything. I think he's does the comedy tour and stuff. That's his job, you know. This is his full-time gig, you know. So, there's more interesting jobs than just sitting behind a desk clicking things on the computer.
Well, he's outdone the Monster Raving Loony Party now. They seem virtually normal with their ventriloquist dummies and giant top hats and that sort of stuff. They're like, whatever, they're just mainstream. There's a guy dressed as Elmo. There's a guy with a bin on his head.
Yeah, and their baked bean balaclavas.
Yeah. I can't believe I didn't spot that until you pointed it out.
Absolutely
bean
incredible.
Balaclava.
And then it's just allowed, you know. It's like there's golf clubs you can't get into in the UK unless you're wearing a shirt and tie, you know, in to get a pint, and yet you can just go for election with a bin on your head. You know, what a place! What a place! Anyway, back to normal proceedings, shall we say? This is the great thing about podcasts; you can get completely off the rails. We had some fun stuff from the Horseman today. We have My Favorite Cosmic contest. So they are really leaning into this summer of Cosmerium. So this is something we're going to enter. Definitely me and Mal. We were talking about it before you arrived, Rich, before we started recording. Are you going to do it as well, Rich?
I am, yes. I could hear you talking about it because I was in the green room and you were.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was trying to load your 150 million slides at the same time. So,
yes,
you ended up on the second row of the stuff. So the details, anyway. I'm sure you've seen it, but we'll also mention it here just to remind you. Take a picture of your favorite Cosmic Legions figure. Post the picture to Instagram before. And I'll translate this to the 2nd of August 2024 and use the hashtag #MyFavoriteCosmicLegions. So hashtag #MyFavoriteCosmicLegions, and be sure to tag us at @4_Horseman_studios. Accounts will be selected at random to receive an awesome Legions prize pack containing, and this is pretty cool, a Tusk Heavy Gunner So that's the one we were talking about last week, the one that is coming as a first release to IshCon, and which will be on an in-stock sale for sometime in September. Plus more. So there you go. So other little goodies as well. So who knows? That's 8 winners. So there's scope for some quite cool goodies there. If it's going to only be 8 people, you know, you could get 6. Some. Is it 6? Sorry, this font is a bit. Oh, it is 6.
Yeah, 6.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry. So there you go.
Just a word for our non-American listeners and viewers too. The Americans spell favourite different to everybody else. So when you put the hashtag in, there's no U in their version of favourite.
Oh,
so
yeah.
just be aware of that. Otherwise, it won't get picked up.
That is an excellent
point. No, I thought you were taking the mic, but actually, when it's to do with the hashtag, that is very important. The best thing to do is to search out the post on the Four Horsemen's page, and then you can just click on the hashtag, and then you can do a new post from there, surely, and be able to add them. But definitely, after you've posted, click on your hashtag and make sure loads of different photos comes up, and then you'll know you're probably in the right hashtag. So there you go, my favourite Cosmic. We will probably, in a future episode, maybe even before the contest is over, we will maybe show what we posted. That'd be fun. Then we had this. We had a picture from Jeremy. It's of the Jim Preziosi from the Four Horsemen Studios wearing our shirt, which was given to him by Mal, I believe, at Mesquite Con.
He actually won it for being one of the oldest. Well, he was the oldest person in the room.
Sorry, Jim. Well, he certainly looks pretty good, whatever age he is. He definitely does. If he's the oldest, I need to brook up.
He's doing all right on it, isn't he? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So looking good there, Jim. Amazing curls, amazing shirt, amazing backdrop there in the Four Horsemen Studios. You even know it's in the studio because you've got the figure wall behind, which is one of the most exciting things we're going to see in the studio. Probably not even one of the most exciting, but it's definitely something I'm looking forward to.
I'm excited to see it, yeah.
Yeah.
Am I going to have to walk around with you two holding you up when you're weak at the knees and all fanboy over this sort of stuff? Because I've seen it once.
You go hang out with all the cool kids that are on their 5th intern, whatever it is.
Yeah, John and I, you'll hear John and I squealing.
Myself and Mal can take that little portable recorder and just do a little fanboy chat. While Rich is just totally in the background.
A lot of heavy breathing into the microphone.
So anyway, it's like it's the Master and the Apprentice going round. The voices, the two of you.
So anyway, how cool is it that our little podcast, one of the founders of the studio, is wearing it to work?
Awesome.
It's
extremely cool.
Yeah.
I was telling my wife that I was like, we've made it, and she just shook her head and was like, yeah, well.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to relate it to Minecraft to my kids or something. Imagine if the people that invented Minecraft were wearing your shirt. Oh, yeah. Who are they? I said, I don't know. Some Swedish dudes.
Perfect.
And we have this, which we hinted at last week, is Mal's 1000 Swig. Not entry really, but his contribution to the 1000 Swig movements. So our movement for Legions Con. So it's a Cosmic Swig. So talk us through this, Mal, before you read us the bio.
I kind of wanted to keep the general colours that Swig has, but also make him feel a little bit cosmic and perhaps make the armour look a little bit more, what I kept in terms of the armour look more like it belonged in Cosmerium than Mythic. So, of course, I painted the purple of that to make it look like a mixture of materials. And then I used the brown arms from the Santa Claus, I think it was.
The green jacket one, is it?
No, is it? No, wasn't it the red one that had the brown body?
Yeah, the other one had the green arms maybe then.
Yeah, I think the green jacket has the green arms, doesn't he? I think. I can't remember. But yeah, so I use them because they're the same colour as the armour he's got on his arms.
Cool.
Yeah, and then any of the cosmic parts that were black, I weathered them to make them look really old, but I used... So his normal armour has a sort of, I think it's either burnt copper or copper a dry brush on it. So I did the weathering in that sort of colour to kind of, again, bring that in. And then, of course, added bits and pieces, modified his staff so it looked like he'd mocked something up with a little battery to power the...
Yeah, you kind of see it here on the left, and then
yeah.
you can see the whole lot of it there in that other picture.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm quite chuffed with how he came out. The weathering bit of it was something I've not done before, so, you know, I'm pleased with what I did, but as with everything, we'll get better with practice. So.
I like the way you didn't use the front part of the Swig soft goods, just the...
Yeah, that was part of
better.
Trying to show off. Well, again, trying to make it not quite mythic Swig, and just to add a bit more cosmic feel to it. So he's got the crotch piece from the engineer, because that could be weathered, and just adds a bit more of a modern look to it. So, yeah.
And the head works okay with that big armor that goes up around the back of the hood.
It takes a bit of squeezing it in and pushing things down, and moving things in just the right position
perfectly. But yeah,
it's on very solidly. Yeah. It won't move though. You can't really turn it or do anything like that. But yeah. But it's firmly on there now.
Good.
Yeah.
Very cool. You want to give us the story?
Yeah, let's read the story then, eh? Right. So, one particularly brave or foolhardy Swig, attempting to garner the most favour of all the Swigs with King Noglin, began to explore and experiment with the powers of the Nethergate. It was during one of these experiments that he was sucked through a rip in space and time, finding himself lost in the far distant universe he has since learned is known as Cosmerium. It took a few years for Swig to come to terms with the new situation. Every new sight and sound on the planet he had first landed upon, causing him great consternation. However, he's nothing if not resourceful and adaptable, and resourcefully adapt he did. After a couple of years, he taught himself more about the technologies he encountered in the built-up areas of the planet, cobbling together new armour and weapons from scrap he found. Eventually, he even plucked up enough funds and courage to be able to pay his way off the planet on a smuggling ship. Mystified and still a little terrified, Swig, with the misguided belief that one day he will find his way back to Mythos, continues his ongoing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no Swig has gone before.
I love that little bit at the end.
Yeah, the little Star Trek reference at the end. It's because I started writing about him getting back to Mythos and he's exploring. I was like, I've got to, haven't I?
Absolutely, it's your own. When you're writing it yourself, you can use your own artistic license. It's also a bit easier to read your own writing, isn't it? No matter how good someone else's writing is.
Well, I've read it a few times, haven't I? And
yeah,
some writing it, you memorise what you've written a bit.
That also helps, yeah. Okay. You going to make a Swig, Rich?
I am indeed. I think I've hinted at it before, but mine will be an extreme... If I can make it work, and I've just literally ordered something to help make his outfit, it'll be an extremely inappropriate Swig. But it will be a funny Swig.
Not like where we'd have to censor it when we show it on the page or anything?
No, I think we just might get away with it.
Okay, just might get away with it. Okay.
I think
join our Patreon if you want to see that Swig.
I will say, I think the Swigs we've seen already have been really, really good, and
they
I
have,
want to see more of them and more
Absolutely,
people's Swigs. John, you're planning to do one, I think, aren't you?
Yeah, I haven't come up with a plan yet as to which one, but definitely I have an extra Swig, so I will do it. And just when I'm in the middle of painting something else, I'm sure the inspiration will hit me finally, and then I'll be like, okay, got to do this. So
I'll have to try getting mine sorted sooner rather than later, because if my giggling away like a small child idea goes horribly wrong, then I'll need to come up with another idea. very quickly.
I'm sure someone has already done a Fury Swig. I think that's probably already been taken.
I don't know. I've not seen it, but I can't remember seeing that. But maybe.
I'm sure that'll be done. That'll be covered. But that would be a fun one, I think. Right. Shall we get on to what goes with Legions?
Yep.
Everything.
Spoiler.
It would seem so. It would seem so. Absolutely everything goes with Legions.
This is the episode where me and Mal have a falling out.
Yeah,
I'm more in the Travis Bowles category of like, you can squeeze that in, yeah, that'll work. Mal's like, how dare you? How dare you?
You have a lot, Rich. So let's start with a few of yours, and then we can flick between myself and Mal's stuff as well. So we're going to bring up a couple of stuff here. You got to describe, especially for the audio listeners,
Yes.
which we still have plenty of. So tell them what we're seeing.
People, look at our beautiful faces on YouTube.
Yeah, but I understand too. I mostly listen.
No, I do,
to stuff.
absolutely. So first that we have Toy Biz Lord of the Rings figures. These are generally in the community, are generally just bought and then ripped to absolute shreds. If you go back, John, thank you. Yeah. Absolutely ripped to shreds to make skirt pieces, etc., etc. Mr. Gerard has mastered that. And I've got about 150 of these things because they're dirt cheap on eBay. And I've done that with quite a few of them, torn them apart. However, I do think there are a few that would actually work with Mythics. Now, I'm not saying you'd have them at the very front of the display or anything like that, but as part of a group shot or something like that, they'd work. The top three on this, there's an elf, a palace guard, and then another elf. These would work as elves randomly in Mythics. The builds, Lord of the Ring builds, are a bit thinner than the Mythics ones, so I think you'd want to use them as elves. You'd almost certainly have to replace the heads with a custom head because the heads aren't brilliant. They're okay, but they're not brilliant. But they definitely work as elves. And the one in the middle with the very fancy hat, middle
kind of
top,
priestly, bishopy kind of.
Yes.
Looking.
I have used that hat on Magnus, so my Magnus on my display is wearing that hat.
Wow, it's kind of like a bishop's feathered hat, kind of.
Yeah, he's on loan to the Order of Aetheron, so he's got Sir Owain armor and then that hat. An idea I stole from Mr. Joe Russo, and it works great.
Very cool. And did you collect Lord of the Rings Toy Biz at any stage before?
I didn't know. Well before, well before I got back into the collecting as an adult sort of thing. So no.
Okay.
And then the bottom three here are all the orcs and Urukai from the line.
Gotcha.
These work better just as figures in with Mythics. Again, they're not as good as Mythics. I'm not for a second saying they are, but they got like gritty sort of feel to them. Certainly like Fury, because they're all red skinned. So as a Fury Orc background character, I think these absolutely work.
Yeah,
and they're really big as well. They're like 7.5 inches tall. So they're really big, beefy characters. So they'll go well with Mythics.
Very cool. We also got the Nazgul here. Or?
Yes. So the ring wraiths, their bodies are it's just a big flowing garment. So you can work well with any sort of character for that. The one in the top middle there is the Orc General. Really big figure again, like 7.5 inches again. But again, as long as you can forget the fact that characters in Lord of the Rings, that works really well. I put a horse in there, but any of the Lord of the Rings horses, they're too small for 1.0 Mythics, but they work really well with 2.0 Mythics. So I've got two of that particular horse with Vampire Knights.
I was going to say, that looks like a Vampire Knight horse.
It really does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. It was designed from. And then the bottom left for people watching is a Lord of the Rings battle troll, which I think goes brilliantly with Mythics. And I've got one of these as is in my Legions of Arathir display.
What is the scale on that then? Because it does, to be fair, looks very similar in sort of style to the...
Not quite as tall as a troll, but not far off either. He's a big figure. So yeah, my shelving units have got about a foot, I think, from shelf to the next one. And he's just about fits in there sort of thing. So yeah, it's a good size figure, but a really good figure and works very well with it. Mythics, I think. Right. And then next to that, we move on to McFarlane Spawn stuff. Now, you could probably fit some of these in. There's a couple in particular, and I'll get to those, where you can fit them straight in, I think, as figures that work with Mythics. Some of the other stuff is more, you could take a part off it here and a part off it there, sort of thing. So there's a lot. One of the sublines in Spawn is called the Age of Pharaohs. So it's Egyptian themed. Obviously, my love of Egyptian stuff. Yeah. So I have some of these
on brand.
So in the middle, you've got a massive crocodile. He's a big, beefy fella. I don't have him, but again, if you want some sort of beastly creature thingy, he'd be good. And then the one on the bottom right, and if you go on to the next slide, John. Thank you. So these are the actual figures, like the human-sized figures sort of thing. They're not maneuverable at all. They're pretty much statues sort of thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
But they do work. I think they work with Mythics. Particularly, if you've got an Egyptian style, and now we've got Anubis and Bastet, if you've got an Egyptian styled faction or that sort of thing, then these work well. And also they've got loads of bits to just pull them off and use them. So the one on the top right,
with the wings here,
with the wings, it's like a jackal head sort of thing underneath. So, but the mask and the helmet comes off, so you can take that off, use it on another figure, and then you've still got this cool Egyptian sort of jackal type figure there.
Cool.
The one in the bottom middle's got an amazing mask. It's got like the thing that goes up there, and it's like Ra's sun sort of emblem in the middle and a cool mask. But underneath that, it's an undead figure. So again, nice. So you could have it with that, or take the mask off, use it on something else, and have that. And then the one on the bottom,
nice looking weapons here as well.
They have, and they're very Egyptian sort of theme. I mean, they're obviously exaggerated because it's Spawn, but they've got that sort of feel and that colouring to them as well, definitely. And then the one on the bottom right, again, it's got really cool headpieces, like a cobra headpiece coming out. And I've seen somebody use that on a Mythic custom. They just pulled that off and popped it on a skeleton sort of thing. So again, any of these will work in the background of a Egyptian style thing, but even better, there's bits you can pull off and use. Right then, now this set, this is a couple of the ones I think would actually work as they are in Mythic. So it's the two in the middle. I'm pointing to my screen.
So this is Spawn Samurai Wars, yeah?
Yes. So the top left and top right, the same character. It's a character called Dojo. And it's a big, fat, monstrous samurai. And I first came across him when Jeremy Gerard was using bits of him for, I think it was a Boreas samurai. In his samurai stuff, he used a helmet and a few other bits and bobs. But this figure in itself, so I bought one to rip apart, and then I actually got it and went, do you know what? This works as like a Nurgle sort of demon samurai type figure. And it works really well with a samurai setup, particularly if you've got lots of custom ones like I do. You still have bits of Spawn armor on this, that, and the other, so that works well. The one in the bottom middle, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but it's a female character. Again, that sort of samurai feel to it. She's really tall too, so she'd work with Mythics because of that. And it's I don't know if you can zoom in at all, John, but I
think it says Lotus Angel Warrior.
Thank you, Mal. That's why you're not wearing glasses, and I am. But again, she's a really cool character. She's got an awesome helmet with like samurai styled things that come out to the, a bit like Princess Leia, but they're samurai style things that come out to the side on the hat. So she's a great figure that would work as is. And then the other three pictures are figures that I wouldn't necessarily put in the display as is, but they're very good for using parts of them. So you've got a three-headed dragon, top right. Again, Jeremy's done some customs using the neck and the heads from these, and I've got one to rip apart and do the same with. You can make some draconian figures and that sort of thing. And then bottom left and bottom right are two samurais. And again, they've got just some really cool samurai armor pieces, really cool swords, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. More Spawn here.
More Spawn, yeah, there's a lot of Spawn. Middle is the Spawn samurai figure itself. Again, you could probably just about get away with that as a demon samurai if you wanted to in the display, but you can rip it apart. Top right is a pirate Spawn. This is I don't have it, but it's a really cool looking figure. And again, if you wanted to customize it, lots of peg legs and boots and that sort of stuff you could take off that. But I think it would work fine as an undead character as well. Bottom left is Mandarin Spawn. This one actually works really well. It's very bright, but for like an Oriental guard type thing, like something to go with Monkey King or something like that.
Now as well,
Absolutely, it would work really well. And then the one in the middle, bottom middle, is a I think it's a 12-inch figure. It might even be bigger again, called Violator.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool monster. And I've seen people use this before with their mythic
I'm
displays.
familiar
It's
with
like
that
a
one,
demon monster. Yeah. And then top left and bottom right, it's the same figure, but two different colorways. This is from the Spawn Alternate Realities, and it's an alien figure. And I've got one of these. And it works really well as like a demon, because you've got like the wings, almost like skeletal wings behind it. Just tons of teeth. So you can use it as a demon, or it would fit into cosmics, to be honest.
And it's decent paint on these?
Yeah, I mean, it's McFarlane. They're not groundbreaking or anything, but the paint's good enough to use it, absolutely. Yeah. And it's quite a tall figure as well. So again, it would fit in well with cosmics and that sort of stuff because of the size.
Beasts of the Mesozoic?
Yes. So let me just take a bit of water, dry throat.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry. I'll let myself and Mal do a few after this.
So yes. So this is my Dino Rides mounts section. So the top right, we've got not Beasts of the Mesozoic. This is a Jurassic Park. It says in there like a Talabarosaurus or some
Talabarosaurus dinosaur. Yeah.
And these are the sort of cheap-ish dinosaurs you can get from any like toy store or whatever sort of thing. And they actually make really good mounts. I've got a couple in my Fury Clan ride. I've got a couple of other ones, not the same dinosaur, but that sort of thing, same line, that I bought from Swig. And he put like a leather saddle on them, sort of thing. So really fancied them up, but they work well. And then you've got the Beast of the Mesozoic. And then you've got the Velociraptors here. So these are smaller. So you're probably looking at a smallish character as maybe a goblin, something like that, to ride them. But you can see the top left picture, you've got 15, 20 different colorways. I've got one of these. They're really, they're amazing quality. Not cheap. You're looking at £40 to £50 probably for one. But they're great figures. They've done really well. The paint schemes are fabulous. And as a mount for a small character like a goblin or something like that, they do work really well. And then very briefly, the middle bottom and bottom right, these are my werewolf suggestions. So the middle bottom is a Doctor Who werewolf. And I've seen people use these. I think Dean Wright, the UK guy with the amazing photography, he used a couple of these in one of his shots. They work great. The body's not brilliant, but the head works really well. So as long as you can position it, then that's a really good option.
What company are they from?
Oh,
or do you know? You don't know. Okay. No
if you just in eBay look Doctor Who werewolf, it comes up straight away.
Old,
and they're cheap. It is, and they're cheap. They're like £7-8 sort of thing for if that. So you can get a really good price on it.
Even the head, then, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then bottom right is the NECA American Werewolf for London werewolf, which is a big boy.
You recently picked this up, didn't you?
But I have one of these, and it's going to be a mount in my display, using a part that you painted for me, John, for the rider.
Oh, which one is that?
It's the vampire dwarf that you painted for
me. Yeah. Nice.
So it's going to be a psycho vampire dwarf riding into battle on a werewolf.
That'll be cool.
Very good. Well, we'll give you a break, Rich. You can have a...
If you just go on to the next slide for 2 seconds, John, I think it's got more werewolves there, just to get the werewolves
there is a few more,
stuff all done. Top left and top right are the Loose Collector, so that company. They've done. They have a crypt range, so people might have seen their Mr. Hyde or Monster Hyde figure we talked about recently. They're doing 4 werewolves. The 4 different colours are there in the top left, and these are big boys again. You're looking at sort of 10, 11-inch werewolves that are coming out pretty soon. The sculpt looks amazing. I think they'll work really, really well with Mythics. And then top middle and bottom left, finally, for the werewolves. These are from the Stan Winston Blood Wolves line. So this is a pretty old line. And they're not the greatest in terms of articulation, that sort of stuff, but they are really nice sculpts. You've got the werewolf in the middle, and then you have a werewolf knight called Vereticus in the bottom left.
He's good.
And I bought a couple of him and used the head. So he's got an unhelmeted head on the figure itself now, and then the helmet on the floor next to him is actually got you can raise the visor, and there's a werewolf head in there. Cool. So it's like a werewolf knight. So I bought a couple just for those heads, and I just used the head sort of thing. The figure's quite tall. This one, it's probably an inch or so taller than most Mythics. So it would certainly stand out as like a werewolf and an armored sort of knight sort of thing. Yeah, but I mean, armor-wise, it's a pretty good figure as well. So this definitely works with Mythics. And now I will stop for a minute.
Awesome. Right, Mal. Why did you pick a Legions figure as your first figure to go with Legions?
I'm a little nervous that I'm going to reveal too much about maybe having some sort of being on the spectrum a little bit here, or OCD or whatever. Because I don't disagree with Rich when it comes to parts. I think there are so many lines you can use for parts. McFarlane's very good. And I've gone blank on the other things. MTI Classics, even
Lord of the Rings.
Masterverse, Lord of the Rings, all them parts, completely agree. But when it comes to what will go with my actual stuff on the shelf, I get a bit picky. And the very best thing is figure obscura, Krampus. No, I'm obviously...
So we got the black and the red.
And the red. And you can even stretch as far as the next slide, which is putting a cosmic figure that looks a little bit like a mythic figure with them. And I think that's it. I think that's all you need. No. I mean, that's being a bit daft, obviously, but I do think they're very cool. But I get a bit funny about its articulation, and I don't mean they can't have too much or too little. It's styles of articulation. I don't mind on the legs so much, but their arms, I like that mythic, the look to the mythic arms.
But it doesn't look like there's any cuts or joints.
That's it. So you end up going on to sort of larger figures, and I haven't got all of these that we're about to go through. They're just examples of ones that I go, that's pretty cool. So we start off with, and I've completely forgotten his name. Is it Scar? It's Hulk's son. Yeah, Scar, Hulk's son. This is one that's being released soon, or is up for pre-order now.
Recent,
yeah, and I think he would go brilliantly with Mythics. He's going to be between sizes, but that's fine. He's just a different.
Is he not ogre scale or?
No,
not ogre scale. Brute scale.
He might be. I think he might even end
probably in the brute scale sort of range.
But
I love his.
But
weapons.
I think they look really cool. And you could give him a bit of a dry brush. I mean, you wouldn't need to do much to him either, would you? He's got a very mythic look. You could get a bit of a dry brush, a bit of a wash on parts of him to give a bit more colour, a bit more
maybe on the weapons,
more real
the bits that are kind of plastic instead of painted. Like those stones on the front of the boots or whatever they are.
But that's the thing with a lot of these, and you'll see that with some of mine as well, a little wash or some dry brushing, and actually, anyone can, even I can do that. And then it fits in even better.
That's it. So if we just move through them this one, I actually do own this one, and it's the youthful Groot from Marvel Legends, and he's actually a cool size. Yeah, he's quite chunky. He actually, in terms of the articulation, feels perfect match for Cosmics or Mythics. I've actually bought him to use with Cosmics, and I was going to give him a bit of a wash. Paint him up a bit, give him a bit of some sort of armor. I haven't decided exactly what to do with him yet, but he is perfect. I might give him a different head. The head's perhaps even though it's actually a good size for Cosmics and Mythics, it's the bit that feels not quite right, or makes it feel a bit too much like Groot. I don't know. So I might do something different with that, but I think he goes very well in my opinion. Move on.
Look at the little rocket
and the little raccoon. I don't know where that is at the moment.
That's why you bought him. I'll be honest. There's nothing to do with Groot. I want a tiny rocket.
Cool. Here's another new one that's up for pre-order at the moment too, and I think this again perhaps a bit of a wash on some parts of it, although I'm sure it looks incredible. The Odin figure. Again, I'm guessing, I actually think it'll end up bigger than brute scale by the sounds of it. But it just looks so cool. And again, it's got that particular, it's where I don't know how you describe it, isn't it? But it's where the lower arm is plugged in to the upper arm, and the articulations in that lower arm. There's just something about that joint. I think it looks more natural, more real, even if there is a slightly less articulation in it. Yeah, so this is I don't know if I'm going to buy it, but I just think it's an excellent one.
And this is, I think this is one we talked on one of our Patreon episodes where we talked about the latest news. And this is a Pulse exclusive, Hasbro Pulse exclusive for Marvel Legends. I think it
possibly.
Might be. Yeah. This one is the reason that I've currently am not selling any of my Thor Marvel Legends on eBay. I'm just having that little moment of doubt.
There you go.
House of the Noble Bear for me would go right in with.
Right, I'm selling them again. He's out of there.
These guys, I have memory toys of the bears. I haven't bought one. They were a bit more pricey than I wanted to pay, but I actually think they look like they'd go very, very well. I know they've had mixed reviews in terms of articulation, how they work. Billy Beige and his review of it wasn't. He seemed to like it generally, but there's definitely flaws with it. It comes with armor if you got the extra pack, so you could make it look like something more cosmic. You could probably find bits and pieces to make it more mythic, or you could just have it as a werebear type character. It looks very cool.
The claws,
these are on my list as well. They're awesome.
Hands are amazing.
Yeah. Again, you could give it a bit of a wash if you wanted, I guess, to dirty it up and make it fit a bit more with
enough.
I know a few people complained about it, the lack of fur everywhere, but I actually really like the sort of exposed bits as well. Yeah, it makes it that bit different. As you say, you can use it as a werebear or something. It can be that bit different.
Yeah, that is the neat kind of, just that it's kind of maybe a little bit juiced, that it's kind of outgrown its fur.
Well, I mean, for me, werebear is what comes to mind with it more than a normal bear, and especially because of the way it stands up. It's human proportions more than bear proportions, isn't it? So
yeah. And there's 2 more colours as well. So there's a polar bear variant, and there's also a black bear one. But the black bear one, interestingly, they've painted it. It's the non-fur bits are metallic. So actually, it's a random decision, cosmic. And it wasn't advertised like that. But that would work as cosmic.
Yeah.
You could have that as some sort of cyborg bear or something like that in cosmic. So
that's it. And again, with all of these things that I've shown, you could probably modify them, add bits to them from all the lines Rich talked about, and we talked about like McFarlane, and even from Mythics, you could probably find parts that you could attach to them somehow. And I think they'd, bring. And
we love a panda, don't we, Rich?
I adore pandas. No such thing as too many pandas. unless it's this panda. I just realised this is sat next to me.
It's not a new gerbil, is it?
No, continue without me for a second. I beat this thing into submission.
Then this guy, I own him, and it's probably the one slight exception to the articulation rule, but there's just something about him. And I'm determined. I still can't work out what to do with him. I forget we've got people. This is King Shark from the Suicide Squad movie.
Todd Father, McFarlane, DC Multiverse.
And I don't know what I'm going to do. But yeah, he's so cool that I had to have him. And I'm determined to work out how to cosmic him up or mythic him up at some point.
I think we're talking cosmic here, no?
Yeah, I had a couple of these and I ended up selling them both because I was focusing on mythics and I just couldn't figure out a way to make it work. But as cosmics, I think it actually worked quite well. There's also
go on, Rich.
I was going to say there's also an older Bath figure of King Shark.
That's actually the one I've got. It's the same except for the shorts. Yeah.
Oh no. Really old. So like a few years ago, sort of thing. And there's a Bath figure, and it's got more realistic head, and it's got hammerhead as well. Hammerhead shark head as one of the heads as well, and that's a really good figure. So if you wanted a big old shark, then that's another one which I forgot about until just now.
I've got the killer croc as well that they did, and I'm getting rid of most of those figures, but I can't get rid of him, even though he's probably not going to be used. I can't, he's too good as he is. And I'd be the same with that King Shark. If I could get him with the hammerhead particularly, I just wouldn't be able to do anything with him. He's too good as he is. So that's the problem with some figures. They're just too good as they are. But I mean, I don't know what. Do you want to go through all of mine, John, before we go on to your?
Can I show you my panda thing?
I'm going to solo you.
Zoom in on me,
so
John.
we can see you. Yeah. Yeah.
This thing is awful, but it just happens to be by me.
Little Panda Bamboo.
Oh, it's not working. Oh, damn it.
That's how bad it is.
It's one of these awful things. Basically, you press the button, and a little panda's head pops out and goes, hello. And then it puts its paw up and takes a coin off it and goes, thank you. And it's a money box. And it's so annoying. I'm annoyed and glad at the same time that it's broken.
Yeah, it's so annoying that you broke it.
It appeared yesterday, hence it's right by me here, sort of thing. Holly just appeared with it and goes, look at this. And we're like, oh, God.
Right. Oh,
Right.
How did this ended up rotated? Okay.
It's all right. So this
is another Cosmic Legion.
This is sort of to then go that some of what I've said about articulation and all that and goes out the window when it comes to Cosmic. I don't seem to mind quite as much with Cosmic.
So there's arms here from what? From articulated icons?
Well, this is it. I own this custom from Forge. I forget what the whole name of the... But I got it at Legions Con last year, and yes, it's the articulated icon arms, and I'm going to get hold of some myself to do other customs with. So, maybe from someone on this podcast.
Yeah, I know where they're coming from.
So that's just to sort of say what I say about articulation and being a bit weird about it, but then when it comes to Cosmic, I don't mind it because I absolutely love this custom and it's one of my favourite figures.
Yeah. I'm sorry that's rotated. I must have forgot to tick the box.
That's fine. Great looking figure.
Oh, it should just for people listening, it's based on the engineer body, but with a bit of extra paint and a red, black and gold sort of colour scheme. Silver with a bit of gold in there as well, colour scheme. And it's very, very cool. And then the best figure to go for Cosmic. And it's a combination of Dorklair and Billy Beige's fault that I am all in on the one, the only Alf. and it's one of my favourite bits of my my Cosmic displays. I managed to get last year's Cosmic Con or whatever they called it, Alf. So he's got an engineer's head in his backpack and a gun sort of sticking out of it. And it's as if he's wandered into... Oh, he's wearing the Walter Cabal shirt. And it looks like he's wandered into the middle of Cosmic Legions and he just works so well. Again, completely it goes against what I've said about articulation, but he's so good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh shit! Yeah.
What's that?
He did that. Someone else has done the same thing with the.
There you go.
That's exactly. Yeah, I had to do. He's so good. And there's probably lots of other things that I would put with Cosmic. I was mainly looking for figures, as I say, that I'd keep as is or add bits to make them fit, and I mainly focused on Mythic because, as I say, I'm a bit OCD or whatever the word is about how the articulation is and all that. But then, with Cosmic, a bit more to it. There's even some I've considered some of the droids from Black Series, but it's about size and all that sort of thing. Sig, when you see Sig Enrique's display and the way he does all and modifies all of them, it makes me just want to basically do that.
Sig's a crazy genius with this sort of stuff.
It's big time. Yeah.
So that's focusing on me again. Just speaking of Alf.
Look, he wants.
It is all about me, Mal. You're quite right. Yeah.
Yes, that's tempting as well.
There's Mythic Alfs.
Oh wow. It's 3 different Alves with capes and
Alves wearing capes and
in a castle kind of
and that sort of stuff.
Wow! So you could just make a whole series with that.
Yeah, that was done by Citron Stub, and I apologise about butchering that name, but they look great. I'm so tempted to get more Alfs just to do something like that.
Yeah.
A faction of Alfs.
Well, I think you can get the original sort of. The first one they released for like 20, 25 quid these days. So
me and John both got it cheap off AliExpress.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, quite happy with that.
It's the one I still don't have. Pre-ordered all the ones to come, and I've got the Cosmic Con one, but I still haven't gone for the original one yet.
Just have to get the cat in the sandwich. I'm showing my cats every time they're bold, There you go. Look, it'll be you. Right. I got a few before we get back to Rich. So, Motu Classics, and not all of them for sure. But there is definitely some that work, or whether... I mean, a lot of the sculpt is really good on Motu Classics. So, and I think some people would say that the articulation isn't great, but I think if you're into Mythic Legions, the articulation is perfectly fine in Classics. And Super 7 still uses it in a lot of the Ultimates, so, you know, your mileage may vary in that one. But I've got the Beastman. He's on top of the Motu Classics Griffin, and I think these two work really well. I think the problem with Beastman here is that he's Beastman. See, so if you know that he's Beastman, then it's different. But you could definitely use the body for something, or use the armor. You know, you could paint it up. You could paint it a different color or whatever. But this Griffin, I think, works really well as is.
I must admit, if I had more space, that I think I'd have that Griffin already.
Yeah.
But I keep being tempted by it for sure.
Yeah. Oh. That's a shame. Yeah, so, but I think, and this could go for all of the Motu Classic mounts, or most of them, like Battle Cat, again, Panther, you know who they are, but they work with the scale of the figures. There's one called Battle Lion, which is from 2000X, but they did it in Classics. That's a very cool one. It's not quite Battle Cat, it's the same colors, but different head sculpt, and that works very cool. And all of these could be repainted to be different, and then they're just big beasts to ride on for your Mythics figures. A lot of them are very expensive now in the secondary market, which is, of course, the problem. You know, I know that.
Yeah, something like the Battle.
Sorry, yeah.
I was just going to say, sorry, something like the Battle Lion, which isn't that well known, maybe to people.
Yeah, that's less expensive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you can use it for like Cosmic. I could see that being some sort of green lion type creature strolling across a cosmic landscape with somebody riding it.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely worth looking into there, or if you have some, because some of those were like Battle Cat was very cheap for a while at the kind of, you know, in the first couple of years of Classics collecting, and then suddenly went out of the rotation because they had a kind of an in-stock rotation, and then his price just went crazy and they never reissued him. So after that first kind of couple of reissues. So here's some more Classics that kind of work with Cosmic, more so. And this is the Club 2000X. They did a kind of a series, and it's Queen Grayskull, Pravus, Calyx, Evil Seed. You got the guy in the middle there, which is
it Serratus or something, I think?
Yeah, Serratus.
Yeah.
And King Tubla. So I think all these figures kind of work with Cosmics, or could work with Cosmics, or you could use parts of them. They just have a different aesthetic to what you would see in the kind of classic Motu Classics.
I haven't the King Tubler.
Yeah. I was going to say, I've got a King Tubler with a custom head on it. For my Mythics. I've not. Have I not shown you boys? I'll have to get a photograph of that. It's got a Yeti head on it, so it's a Yeti for my my Mythics.
Yeah, that's cool.
And these are not the most expensive ones on the secondary, I think. People don't know these characters that well, so
Calyx was for a while. Calyx was over £100.
Oh, was he?
I think because I sold mine for like 140 or something like that. But he's dropped away again now, so you can get him for a reasonable price now.
Nice. So that's them. Anything more on those, or do you disagree?
The guy in the middle, I think the guy in the middle would work really well with Mythics too.
The
Serratus,
yeah.
Queen
if I can ever find a cheap one.
And Pravus probably as well, this kind of demon-y looking guy. Might work with Mythics, no?
I feel like, I feel like Queen Grayskull probably for me is the one that looks most like she'd fit. I obviously haven't seen her in person in terms of size and all that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's kind of the same size as Tila from Motu Classics. But yeah, she might work as in the Noble Bear, maybe, or an Etheron.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mal doesn't know. Mal is not familiar with Motu Classics. There,
I own one classic, and it's the Drago Man, and of course I got that because it was.
Well, yeah, there you know the scale then.
So yeah,
it is pretty much the same scale. Of course, my favorite Moss Man. I think he just fits in with anything.
Cool Moss Man as well, isn't it?
That's probably the best Moss Man. Probably.
Him and Briar Fighters can just buddy up.
Yeah, exactly. Stick him in the flock. Nobody will notice any difference.
No pun intended.
Always jarring to see those pin joints that they had in Motu Classics, even here in a flocked figure. I'm glad that they didn't become a thing in Mythics. So, yeah, it makes a big difference. Then we come into Motu Classics for Cosmic Legions, and we have the New Adventures figures, which some of these aren't that expensive. Some you might be more expensive. I know Optic, the eyeball guy, he's a bit more expensive. You got the Intergalactic Skeletor from New Adventures. He would work with Cosmic, I think. You got this other guy. Oh, what's that other guy with I forget his name now. He's just gone blank. He's got a red suit and the purple head anyway.
He's got some daft name like Rog or something stupid like that.
Yeah. Anyway, him and Slog, of course, or not Slog. Slush Head. Sorry, Slush Head.
Yeah. This guy's awesome.
Yeah, he's cool. So there's the two versions in this photo. Is actually the one that is more modern, the Masterverse one, on the right there, and the Motu Classics one is on the left. So either of those, I think, look good. They're pretty much similar, just slight differences in scope.
Very nearly picked up the Masterverse one because I thought he was so cool, and some of the bits he came with I thought would make cool little things dotted around the display as well. So.
Yeah, that figure, either one, would fit right in with Cosmics.
Yeah.
Quake, one of the first Super 7 Motu Classics. He's cool. I just get a bit OCD when I see this. I don't know how they got that pose, because that little kind of ball that's in the weapon there always breaks apart. It's about like it does go in half, and there's like a little kind of computer pad inside it or whatever. But it would never stay together for that pose. I don't know if they glued it or blue tacked it or something. So, but he's cool. I think he works as well with the Cosmic aesthetic.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he goes for a few quid now, though.
And the whole thing with Cosmic is it's bright, it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my take on Cosmic. You know, they have down
I think that's why I'm more easy with it, is because it is almost why it's more, as for me, more fun to make the customs of them, is because it could be anything. You know, it's huge.
And then my last ones here, before we go back to a few more riches, is the Schleich figures from, I think they're Eldorado line. These are a lot of cool beasts and not that articulated. You get things like, if you look at the dragon here in the bottom, like his wings will articulate from the body a bit, but like the legs don't articulate and the head will swivel. That's all you get. But they're cool little background characters for the most part. Might be the odd one that you could get to be a little small mount for a goblin or something like that. You've used a few of these, Rich?
I've only used one so far, but the scorpion rather, bottom left.
Yeah.
He's a mount for my lava kitsune.
Gotcha. Yeah. And you get a few little small dragons here. My wife collects the dragons, or more so, I buy them for her every time I see a new one. And she has them, well, I have suspended them over her work desk with a fishing line, because it's the one room we haven't renovated since we moved in, and it still has some wooden ceilings. Actually, no, this room I'm in now as well, down the basement. So you can stick little tacks in and the fishing line. So
Jesus, John, these are quite heavy. Is this a long-term murder plan?
No,
there's a good weight to these. If you're dangling them overhead, it's just like,
some of them have been there for 4 or 5 years, you know. And no, you just double the fishing line, and you kind of do about 3 or 4 kind of little tacks into the wood, and it works fine. Yeah. But they would maybe hurt. They are definitely heavy. So these are worth checking out if you want little background characters for your shelves. I would recommend, now I know they're probably easier to get over here because it's a German company that does them. They're in every kind of big store usually.
Yeah, I was going to say
one on the screen.
Smith's Toys over here.
So you get them more easy in the UK. I'm not sure I know they're available in America, but I'm not sure if it's a select few from the range that kind of maybe they put for the American market. Yeah, this kind of tree dude, he's relatively new. I've seen him, but he's cool.
He's very cool. I've had him in my hand several times in Smith's and just gone, no, put him down, like a little flock dragon member. He would fit in really well.
My kid got him as a present at some point for a party, birthday party. So I might snag him at some stage.
Yeah, and all the tendrils on the back, they all move, they all rotate. It's limited articulation, but they all rotate in the body and that sort of.
This kind of Phoenix guy reminds me a little bit of that Marvel Legends Gene Phoenix that we talked about in Patreon. This Fire Phoenix is also very cool. I don't know if it's a phoenix exactly, but it's some sort of bird.
Yeah. Feels like it's meant to be, doesn't it? Yeah.
Again, this would be about 5 inches tall, I'd say, or so. So again, more of a kind of a backgroundy character, not like a character in Legions. Just, if you've got a theme on a shelf and you need a kind of a creature to fit in, this is how I see these fitting in. Not like as, here's another member of Arthur. A flamey phoenix,
I'm immediately thinking a companion. I've never seen this one before, actually, and I'm very tempted by this. But there's like a companion to a figure sort of thing. It's Bob and his phoenix or whatever sort of thing.
Yeah. I got you, yeah. So I think that's all of them. Just quickly. Oh no, we got the crocodile as well. Have you seen him?
I've not.
He's quite cool as well. He is... Yeah, about probably another, about 5-inch figure, kind of, yay big. Quite well. These are all very nicely painted.
5 inches, so what? That big?
It's big, Rich. Yeah. 5 centimeters in your case. So. Again, the croc, pretty cool, and we leave the rest of them to talk about after these. So we got back to the werewolves. Are we done with this one, Rich?
We're not. So in the bottom middle there's a couple of figures from the Rampage movie line.
Oh, yeah.
It was made by a small company. I can't remember the company's name. But there's a wolf, which seats Mythic Legion really well. My Malachi Cinderhorn rides one of those. It's not the best articulated thing in the world, but it looks good. It scales really well with Mythics. And then you have the massive crocodile mutation beastie thing, which I love. I absolutely love. And I've got King Noglin and Nubnik, both of them riding mine sort of thing. So they work really well as mounts, both of those. And then I hated to do this, but it's been painted lots, so I'll go with it. There's an AWOC figure on the bottom right. Now, aesthetics-wise, they don't go with Mythics at all. Based on their customer service, they should probably go straight in the bin, but that's another matter. But if you paint them up and weather them, actually looks really good and would fit in with Mythics. So this, I can't remember who it was that did this, but they did a really good job, head-to-toe repaint, and it looks excellent. The face is still not quite Mythics, but it looks really good as a figure.
As you know, I picked up a couple of their newer wave that's... I presume in production at the moment, to go with the Cosmic, because even though they obviously fit in their world, they're a bit more like with guns and metal arms and things. So I picked up a couple to go with the Cosmic as well.
Has that wolf gone up on pre-order yet? That sort of cybernetic wolf one they did?
Yeah, it's on Big Bad.
Yeah. Okay. Not that I'd ever buy from AWOC, but...
I bought 2 of them with the intent it's going to get ripped apart.
You might accidentally buy off someone who's selling them in a lot. Isn't that it?
Yeah. Can't rule these things out.
Right, some samurais, Rich.
Yes, it's a theme for me, isn't there? So the top row and then the bottom left is the Articulated Icons feudal series from Whoosh. These were dirt cheap a few years ago. You could get them for like $15 each, sort of thing. They're a bit pricier now. They're on the small side, so you can use them with mythics, but you'd have to be careful what you stood them next to. They could look city scale wise. However, the armor pieces and that go really well on 2.0 figures. So I've got a lot of 2.0 figures already wearing this or going to be wearing these vests and that sort of stuff. But I mean, these themselves, they come with tons of accessories. There's like a couple of heads, helmets, masks, katanas, bow, all this sort of stuff. So, and as I said, if you do it carefully, they can fit in the background with some mythic samurai styled things. And
as Mal has shown, you can use maybe the arms and stuff on a Cosmic or something like that.
Yes. And then the bottom center and the bottom right, these are the Star Wars Realization range.
Movie Realization, yeah.
Yes, and there's a Boba Fett one on the next one. Yeah. These are scale-wise work really well with Mythics. They're the same sort of size as Mythics. They work really well some of them work really well, again, as samurai characters. Some of them, like the Stormtroopers and that, are obviously Stormtroopers, and you couldn't really blend them into Mythics. But I think here we've got Mandalorian, Kylo Ren, and then on the next page we've got Boba Fett, all of which I think, if you're sensible with them, you could fit them into a Mythics display. You know, you might want to change the armor up a little to get rid of the gun, obviously, from Boba Fett and that sort of thing, but they work really well. If you're not worried about the posing particularly as well, then you can get knockoffs of all three of these on eBay, AliExpress, etc. for a really, like 20 quid sort of thing.
And the sculpt is just as good as the articulation is horrible, or what?
It's the quality. So it's, if you get a really bad one, you might lose like an arm might fall off all of a sudden, sort of thing. But as long as you get it and you get it into pose and you're happy with it, then it works really well.
So the paint is still decent on the knockoff?
Yeah, the paint's decent. All the parts seem fine. It's just that cohesion and staying together that's the thing.
Not that we would ever condone a knockoff in this show, of course.
100% no. 100%.
If you're using it for parts, I mean,
yeah.
Oh yeah. That's true. Reuse, recycle, isn't that it?
Exactly.
Right. And who are these two on the top?
Yes.
Middle,
so now we're into cosmic stuff now. So, top center and top right, these are Funko figures. From I'm not sure. I think it's a game called Evolve. And these are a range of like 6-inch sort of scale figures. So the one in the middle is called Markov. It's quite a big figure. It's bigger than your standard Cosmic, maybe 7 inches, a bit broader. I've got 6 of these.
Wow.
Quick head swap, and you've got another unit from another affiliation sort of thing. So that works really well. And then on the top right, you've got a female character, which I don't have. But again, I think with the outfit and that sort of thing, you could actually make... I mean, I don't have humans in my Cosmerium, but you could actually fit it in well and make it work well.
And what sort of prices can you pick these up for?
I've not checked the female, but the Markov you can get for anywhere between £10 and £15.
Wow! So
I picked up 3. Yeah, I picked up 3 Markovs on eBay this week. In fact, they're in a box next to me here because I haven't opened them yet. And they were £8 each and 3 quid total postage. So like £9 each.
Okay, then I understand how you had 6. Yeah.
And they work really well with with Cosmics. So I say they're a bit bigger, but I've got some of the bigger Cosmic heads. I think I've shown a couple to you guys that are just too big for an Ovian Lean or a Sligo or whatever sort of thing. Then go really well on that.
Then we got Joy Toy.
We do. So Joy Toy's famous for their obviously 1/18. Yeah, 1/18 scale stuff. So their Warhammer, the Turtles that they're now venturing into, much to Mal's delight and despair. So they're 3 3/4 inch figures, but they do mech.
Sobbing. I can hear it. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
But they also do mech suit characters. So some of these are 1/18 scale. A couple of them might be 1/25 scale. So you can see quite often they've got small figures, like human-sized figures with them as well, which you just take and throw in the bin. And then you've got an 8.5 to 10 inch.
Could you not sell them on eBay for to recoup some cost or?
Oh, even I wouldn't stoop that low, I don't think.
Are they 118?
118, yeah. I think one of them might be 125, but generally they tend to be 118.
Okay.
But they stand like 8.5 to maybe 11 inches tall as a maximum. So they fit really well with Cosmic in terms of having like a robot.
But the little figures are 118, no? Or are they smaller? Are they 3.5 inch figures?
No, they're smaller again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. Or maybe they're not. No, maybe they're 3 3/4 actually. They might be.
Okay.
But yeah, but there's a whole range of ones. So you can see
these are
the
cool.
pictures
these
here.
mechs,
The one in the bottom middle, I've got, it's got like multiple cannon launchers coming out. And then it's got a seat on the back for the rider to sit in. So one of the heads you painted for me, John, actually.
Nice.
A little evil goblin-y thing, which is not a goblin colour, is going to sit and pilot that.
That's cool.
That's cool. And then I've got another one if you come to the next page, John, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no, back, sorry.
Warhammer.
To the page before. The bottom left.
Yeah.
For me, it's like a police officer type robot that's joined a band of outlaws sort of thing. So he's got that sort of riot shield and the weapon and that sort of thing. And you have to put them together. They come like in bits. So you have to put them together. But aesthetically, I think they go really, really well with Cosmics, particularly if you're doing more of the sort of rebel, mercenary style side of things. I mean, they're not cheap. You're looking at $60 to $120 probably for each one, depending on which one you go for.
Yeah.
But if you think you had something official, you'd be paying that anyway, sort of thing, and you get some really cool designs with this.
Yeah, so I mean, if you even just wanted to dip your toe in with one, and it's still a big expense, but it might be worth it, and you'd probably still be able to sell it if it wasn't for you.
Yeah, I dipped my toe in with two.
Of course he did. I love this one with the little wings on it. He's cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, so it's like a flying sort of suit as well. And the one in the middle, actually, I need to get that at some point. It's very much that sort of robotic sniper sort of feel to him. So the big rifle, the domed head. It's a very cool.
We need to move on now.
I was going to say the problem with me is I'd buy one to go with Cosmics, and that'd be me into Joy Toy.
And judging by what you've been telling me about your wallet, you don't need that problem. Right, Warhammer from McFarlane, I believe.
Yes, so some of these I don't think go with Cosmic because some of them are like, I mean, not the ones in the pictures, but generally the range. They're such obviously Space Marine types that don't particularly work. However, I think some of the lesser known ones, once you start taking the helmeted heads off, so you've got like Space Wolves top left, comes with an unhelmeted head.
Yeah.
You could put some fur on it and that sort of stuff if you want to make it a Space Wolf, or you can get a different head and use that. And I think that would work well with Cosmics. Again, one in the middle.
I was going to say, or you could even take that head and use that on something, couldn't you? That's and some of the parts of this would work on Cosmics as well, I think.
You are quite right there, Mal. Yes. See, this is why I put the pretty pictures up and you guys do all the sensible talking, right?
But no, I agree. I actually do think some of the McFarlane Warhammer stuff, there's two you're going to bring up in a bit that I think I've very nearly bought myself to go with Cosmics as well.
And then top middle and right middle, again, just another couple of Space Marines. The one on the top right is a new figure. It's a Chaos Marine. Yeah. And it's dirt. For a McFarlane figure, it's got a much dirtier, scruffier paint job than normal sort of thing, which, again, I think would work well.
Tyranids?
Tyranids, bottom left. This is the one that's out at the moment, and there's a second one coming out this year, which was the unpainted version originally, and now it's going to be a painted version as well.
Bit like the Cthulhu.
The big long claws and the,
Oh, that's the one I really like as well. Oh.
Yeah, they're bringing out a painted version, Mal, later this year.
Oh, no.
I'd like to apologise to anyone that's listened to this episode that ends up getting into financial difficulty as a result of this conversation.
Join us.
We unfortunately can't take any responsibility for that, but we will sympathise with you. We will buy you a pint at Legion's Con as an apology.
Well, if we can afford it.
I was going to say, we'll spend all our money.
Oh, no, you need to prove your financial difficulty. Log into your internet banking, show me the zero.
Yeah, credit card statements will be required.
And I've got to say, this is coming from an Irishman and a Welshman. It's not often they buy people drinks. So, you know.
Hey, no. I will not be lumped into that.
I'm only joking.
I got married and I had a total free bar for everyone. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
To pay
It's more the
5
Scots than
figures
I'm
the
one of them, so.
next morning. Imagine that.
Oh, God.
And I looked at the bill and went, wow, they missed a lot of those beers. Because I know about 10 blokes that drank all the beers that's on the bill. So I don't know what the other 100 people were drank.
So obviously you told him that, John, straight away.
No. I said, do you want cash or check?
So the guy in the middle, he doesn't look like it here, but he's a big boy. He's like sort of 10-inch.
He looks
the
a
other
bit
one's
small.
massive.
Yeah.
An ogre.
Figure. It's an ogrin. Yeah, it's really cool. I've got 3 of them, obviously. One I'm going to keep as is with my Warhammer 40,000 display, and then the other 2 I'm going to put into Cosmics. And Uncle Jim Workshop does brilliant heads for these. He's got a couple of amazing ogrin heads specifically for this figure. Yeah, and you can get them painted or unpainted. They're really, really good. And then on the right, you've got another Space Marine again, because it's the Terminator. It's a bigger body type, so it gives you more flexibility in terms of heads you can use and that sort of stuff for it. So I think that would get away with mixing it with Cosmic as well.
Are we no humans in Cosmic, or are we?
I personally, in mine, no humans.
No humans. Okay. Mal?
I don't mind a human. I call them Terrans because, you know, we've got to keep it sci-fi. They can't be human and earthlings. They've got to be Terrans.
Fair enough.
But yes, I don't mind them.
Okay, some more Warhammer here.
Yeah, so we've got a female character in the top left, a Sister of Adeptus or something like that. People don't know
Sisters
this
of Battle. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it will kill me for that. But again, works really well as a female Cosmic figure, I
We're
think.
not a Warhammer podcast. Take no
Then
responsibility.
top middle and bottom left are Necrons. So
These are the other
robotic.
2 I considered.
Yeah, robotic, robots basically that fight in Warhammer. And again, I think they'd work really well with Cosmic.
I actually thought about getting a couple of them to rip apart and see what their arms looked like on.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, but I haven't got there. I'll let you know if I do.
It's if you do get any, Mal, keep an eye on the price. The price goes all over the place. So when I first started looking, they were like 40 quid each. And then I picked up 2 of the normal soldiers and a flayed one, bottom left, for like 40 quid in total.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Somebody who's doing like a batch deal. So keep your eye out. You can get some good deals, but yeah, a few and far between. And then top right, Mal, is the painted version of that. That tyrannid that you like. So
yeah, he's cool.
That's coming. And they fit really well, multiple arms. You can be your cosmic demon-y type thing that I'm having to deal with.
Yeah, cool.
And then centre bottom, we're back to Mythics. This is just a very brief picture showing all the McFarlane Witcher characters. Again, you probably, with the exception of the ice giant in the middle, which I have as part of my Mythics display, you wouldn't necessarily want to use them with the heads they come with, but a Mythics head, because the McFarlane stuff is 7 inches tall, so it scales well. In fact, it's a little bit bigger than Mythics. So a Mythics designed head would work really well on those.
Could you touch up the heads if you were a painter, or
I think you could, yes, if you were a painter.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a basic sculpt, but I think you could certainly do a better job than McFarlane do. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And then
bottom
right is the start of my Marvel Legends bath. So the builder figures, because these are bigger than normal Marvel Legends, they scale much better with Mythics and Cosmics, and I think particularly Cosmics they work really well. So yeah, you got Korg the Rockman there. You got Rhino top left. Again, you need a head swap for that, but it gives you that really cool armored sort of body look. You got it's Ursa Major the bear in the middle. Again, if you want a werebear or something like that, that's an option. Probably not as good as memory toy ones, but still a cool bear. A character on the top right is called Armadillo. So if you want like a really armored, fierce looking fella, then a big, wide character for Mythics or Cosmics, that's a good option. Bottom left, I want to say it's Titus. It's Guardians of the Galaxy character. So it's a one-eyed tiger with a massive Gatling gun type hand. He's in my cosmic display. I think he fits in nicely. Then you got a couple of robot suits. You got Mandroid and Hydra Stomper. Bottom middle, bottom right. Again, if you just want some sort of mech, or take the head off, put not a human obviously because it's a Cosmerian, but an alien head in there as if it's wearing that suit, then that would work really well as well.
This one is good, yeah.
Yeah, top left is Sauron. Again, for Mythics.
Deadpool wave.
For Mythics, that works really well. You could even use it with Savage Crucible stuff as well, potentially, as it's got that sort of dinosaur-y look to him.
Yeah, big time.
Bottom left is the Brood Queen. Now, this is an older figure and costs an arm and a leg, so this might not be available for people, but again, for a Cosmic or a Mythic figure. But I was thinking in terms of the Sphexians, you got this big bug-type creature that could actually work as some sort of Sphexian queen or something like that. The top middle and top right, again, it's just armoured bodies. Big armoured bodies that you can keep as is. You might need a little wash over them. Some of the shinier ones maybe to make them fit in, or put an alien head in or something and it's wearing a power suit. And they're relatively cheap, a lot of these. Well, you can pick them up for like £30, £40.
Yeah.
So you're not breaking the bank to get a really good size figure. Bottom middle is Stiltsman, which is a little crazy, but hey, it's Cosmerium. Yes. Anything goes. Yeah. Why can't you have something with massive legs that,
I've seen people that they have multiple of the stilt pieces and they just make them like massive.
Oh, as tall as they can.
Yeah.
I like that. And then bottom right, I've gone completely blank over what the character's called. It's like a Kroll Sentry or something like that. And that's cheap. So this one you can pick up for like 25 quid. And again, it's a really good bat size figure. Shove a different head on it, or you can keep it as is. You've got a robot, or you've got somebody in a robotic suit.
Gotcha. All right. Move on here.
There's more
baths.
More baths. So top left is Crimson Dynamo. So from the Iron Man bad guy. Again, this is the sort of big suit version of him. So again, I think fits into Cosmic well. Top center is Wendigo. I've got him in Mythics at the moment, although I'm going to move him over to be with Wolverine in my Marvel display.
Recently,
but again,
there's him.
Oh, Mal, I'm sorry.
No, I don't need him. I wasn't using him. He was in a box. So.
Yeah, but in some sort of like northern snowy beastie type way, he works well with Mythics. Then we've got some Marvel Selects. So Diamond Select do the Marvel Selects. So these are bigger than Marvel Legends. Generally not quite as articulated, I don't think, and slightly different paint jobs and that sort of thing, but again, can work really well. So top right is Groot. This fella's big. He's like 10, 11 inches tall. I've got him in my flock. The face sculpt is just different enough for me, not being a Guardians of the Galaxy comic reader, that it isn't Groot for me. It's just a big F-off tree man who's there to guard Artemis. Bottom left, you've got Titanium Man, another Iron Man baddie. Again, robot or, somebody in a suit. Middle bottom is Gladiator Hulk. This can work as an ogre.
Yeah, I actually have this figure. It's really nice.
Yeah. You can swap out for a 3D printed ogre size head if you wanted something different. You've got the really cool armor pieces, the weapon, the shield.
The weapons are brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great figure. And then bottom right is another version of Crimson Dynamo. Again, sort of robot look, if you want that in Cosmics. And then I think it's the end of my stuff, thank God. My voice really goes. Then Marvel Select again, you got Beta Ray Bill, top left. This is like a Thor lookalike alien. Again, because it's Select, it's a big figure. It's quite bright, so you'd have to bear that in mind, but a really good figure. You can get it for a reasonable price. I was very unhappy at the price that I sold mine for when I got rid of it. Center middle is Spider-Man Lizard, I think movie one. Again, for some sort of weird reptilian creature, be it Cosmic or Mythics, that would work well. And then top right, you got Destroyer. So again, that big from Thor. So again, the big robot, takes everybody on, sort of thing. And then the two bottom pictures are my memory bear pictures, and Mal talked about them coming with an armor set. And the bottom right, you can see that. So it comes with a club, a pauldron, wrist guards, loincloth, the whole sort of works. You can really beef them up and armor them up.
Very good. Well, thanks, Travis.
They all go. I mean, with this, it's a personal taste thing, and some of the Marvel Legends, for instance, you might want to put a little wash on it or a bit of dry brush.
Yeah.
I mean, just
some of them
dial down the colours a little bit.
But
it's something that even a newbie basic painter like me could do. And if you can get a big figure for like 25, 30 quid, even if you have to get a different head for it, it's still it's something different on your shelf. It gives you that robot or that mech presence. So.
Right, so the rest of these, some of these are actually your spillover as well, Rich. So I put them with my stuff, but we've got Fury Planet, which is now Fury Toys and might change the name again at some stage. But they're the ones that came with the tiger guy. What's his name again?
Master Wang.
Master Wang, that's right. Yeah, and the William is the werewolf guy. They got the kind of samurai bunny. Is it a bunny or kind of a...
It's a bunny. Yeah, it is a rabbit.
They got the big crocodile guy. They got some pandas. So these figures are cool. The aesthetic is really kind of gritty and kind of grimdark almost. But really kind of well weathered. The sculpt is amazing. I know our friend from Planetary Dog Toys, Sebadom, was involved in some of these. Maybe all of them, but definitely most of them. I know he was definitely involved in Master Wang and the William, the werewolf guy. So definitely worth picking up. They're about $100 a figure, so it is a bit of an investment, but I think you get what you pay for. In this regard,
I think it's them that are doing the Mad Monkey, which basically is a Mad Max styled Monkey King, and I will be buying that one for sure. That looks really cool.
Yeah, they have some stuff in the pipeline that we've seen that is definitely cool. Then we come on to I thought it was something I should put in there, Savage Crucible, as goes with Mythics, because I think a lot of people will put it with. There's a debate as to whether it does or not. I don't know. Rich, what do you think based on Wave 1?
Some do better than others. The aesthetic doesn't. It's not quite the same. But some of the characters, like the bottom left on the picture and the second from the right on the bottom, character's name now, but that's got more of a weathered look and a more of a realistic
kind of
look. Whereas the black and white guy, the Imperial Guard, is a bit more basic in the color palette, so it goes. I mean, all of these go fine with Mythics, but it's not an exact sort of you could easily mistake that for Mythic Legions. However, they do work well with Mythics.
And the accessories / weapons packs, they definitely work. I think
they definitely work. Yeah, they look fantastic.
There's some brilliant ones.
As you know, I picked up a Camo to cosmic him up because I thought he'd look cool working on that still.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody took his head off. Camo's the top second on the left.
Top second.
Someone took his head off and used it on a mythic body, and it worked really well.
Really
cool.
Yeah.
Then there's Wave 2 from them, so you see the weapons packs there. There is weapons packs with Wave 1 as well that work, but I think you can see from what you see in the weapons packs there that you could definitely use some of those pieces with Mythics. The Jaeger here, I think, looks quite good. This one on the top left, I think we agree, is not our favourite.
Stop talking about I pre-ordered that one.
What's it called, Rich?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Watch out on eBay, though, when it comes out, everybody.
It's the red, black and gold demony one.
Yeah. I thought it looked different enough to be some sort of demon, but I'm not convinced anymore. Might be different in
you could put the barbarians with your House of the Noble Bear, but I'm not a fan of the barbarian aesthetic. I think pieces could be used from them.
I've
put
picked
with your Mythics
these
figures,
I've picked up the pre-ordered
Frazetta?
the Frazetta one, and I ended up getting that other guy, the one that you've pictured there. I can't remember what his name is. He's not
Man.
No, it's the other one.
Oh, is it
It's
not
the one
Who
that's
Man?
not.
Ah.
I didn't like Who Man. Didn't appeal to me, but I thought I'd see what they were like. The Jaeger I've gone for because I think he looks exceptional. And I picked
Did you
up
see
both
they
the,
did
packs?
a live stream the other week? And they had Kevin.
Sorry.
Yeah. Kevin Delis, I think it was. It was one of the guys that sculpted for My Action Wheel Customs, and he's done some work for them. And he let slip basically that they've already got werewolves lined up in the future. Because he's like, yeah, with the Jaeger, we wanted to make use of the werewolf parts we already have. And you just saw everyone else's face sort of go, okay, well, there we go.
Professional operation there, running their live streams.
I picked up
Wave
the
3.
weapons thing. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, these,
the weapons things. I think Wave 3, the fish guys. I think they are my favorite of what they've done so far,
from the
'cause they are
pictures
so
I've
different.
seen. Yeah, they might have convinced me, especially the fact that I don't know if they all are, but that bluey coloured one looks like he's translucent, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That could, yeah.
So these could go in a kind of a fishy aquatic faction, I think, with your legions or your cosmics.
Yes, I've already started building one, so they will definitely be going in my fishy aquatic faction.
Combatants fight for glory. So we have a couple here. There is, I think, 4 waves of these. I have pictures of maybe 3 waves. These are the gladiator wave. So you can see already just by looking at them that you could definitely fit them in Mythics. You have some of these, Rich, what in aesthetic wise?
I do. Aesthetic wise, they're fine. They're not. The paint scheme isn't an exact match for Mythics, but it's close enough.
Aren't they a bit small scale wise though? Or?
No, scale wise, they're actually
right.
about the same as Mythics.
Oh,
So they
right,
actually work.
okay.
They actually work really well with them. Yeah. In fact, they might be a little bit bigger. Actually, thinking about it.
Okay.
If you want any of the 3 females on that previous slide, though, John, you are shit out of luck unless you're willing to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, I heard they were expensive.
So expensive. I mean, I don't like the female ones, but
I guess
they're well over
under
each.
ordered. I mean, there's
Possibly,
Madonna there,
yeah.
second from the right.
But you can still pick. I mean, the 2 on the end of this picture, they're the basic gladiator trainee sort of figures.
Yeah.
You can still pick those up for like 40, 50 quid. They're Mythic Legions-esque price. And then these are just so good.
These scream Richard Jones to me when I see them.
I got 4 of these that came through the other day. So the set of 3 and 2 of the one on the right. And despite copying for import duty, which I will be forever bitter and twisted about, as I picked the only AliExpress seller who actually puts the genuine value on the shipping.
Oh,
link.
no.
But they're brilliant figures. Like so good. And I've got, I want to have a little Roman themed
So
faction.
that's wave 4 Legion from the combatants.
Yes.
Glory.
So they did blue robed Praetorians in their first wave, which are pretty. Oh yeah, these guys, which are pretty good.
Yeah.
But the red ones are more general Roman sort of colours. So
Yeah, they're pretty. I like them as well. I love the aesthetic. And then these guys, Cassos and Thales, so they're Minotaurs.
yeah, and they're big so and so's.
Are they the kind of
chunky.
100 quid price or?
I think on AliExpress you're looking at $80, $90.
Okay.
So not actually too bad. And they're sort of Mythic Legions Ogre scale. They're big fellas. And they also do, I don't know if you got a picture, John, but they do a red rhino as well. Same scale, same body.
Didn't find him, no.
Yeah, who I've got for my Fury clan. He was an
Okay.
exclusive for one of the Comic Cons sort of thing.
I think they missed out not making it a Red Bull and giving it wings. I think that would have been. When I saw it, I was like, they missed a trick. That would have been amazing. I might.
You do realise, Mal, if they bring that out as a Comic Con exclusive, it means somebody from that company listens to our show.
I'd be ecstatic. I'd be like, good lads.
Yeah, but they need to look at
And girls.
British TV with the ads, maybe. That's the other problem. Very good.
But the Zezre line, they've also teased a big reptilian character as well, and a couple of other different books and that sort of stuff. So they're going all in on
character
this.
look good.
Yeah, and the figure quality is really good. The first wave, the plastic wasn't the best in the world, but was fine. Whereas the wave since then, they've really dialed it in, sort of thing. And the plastic's really good. You get some really good weapons with it, plenty of armor. With the Romans, the armor they wear, although it's all encompassing, it's actually relatively flexible, so you can get some decent-ish poses. I mean, Bill Dorclair's got a good review of it, and he shows the limitations of it, but it's more than you'd expect for that sort of heavy armor.
Okay, shall we then briefly segue and we go to...
There's two things. Well, one thing very much we've missed.
Which is?
Defenders of Eden, Armies of Ashmore.
Oh, was that not on my slides? No.
No, that's your new John.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
You did mention, which to be fair, John did mention earlier in when we were talking about this episode that he would include them.
They're on
But we know, we've seen them in person. Anyone who goes to Legions Con and has seen them, they are perfect matches. If you don't mind them, they're a bit more colourful, a bit more, comic book perhaps than Mythics, but the size, scale, style fit perfectly, don't they, with Mythics and with Ogre?
They do indeed, yeah.
Yeah, Ogre scale.
Yeah, Ogre scale, yeah. Steve Busciotti did a great job on those.
Yeah. And then the other one that actually we don't know really yet, but I'm quite excited and intrigued, and I might end up getting in on the Kickstarter, is Brutal Realms. That looks an intriguing one. They're big, chunky, I think they're 7-inch, big, chunky barbarians that are like, wide and big, thick arms. So I'm intrigued to see what they do with them. For sure.
And I've just thought of one other one as well. Axie Toys do the Dinosaur Warriors. So you've got they've got a T-Rex, which is ogre scale, and it comes with all sorts of bone armor and this sort of stuff. It's absolutely badass looking figure. I need to get one, but they're very pricey. And then they also do like a normal sort of 6-7 inch scale dinosaur as well, sort of thing. Really well textured, really well painted. They're great figures.
Awesome. So, are we good?
Cool. Yeah, we can move on now.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to the state of our collections. So this is going to be for me, a disgraceful section, I think. Rich has kind of fobbed it off with, here's how it was a year ago when it was actually...
Yeah, that's how bad mine is.
Yeah. And Mal is actually got his ass in gear a couple of weeks ago and he's not too
last
bad.
week. It's how I was spending some of my time off, my week off. Yeah, tidying a bit.
So I'll start then so that you boys will look better. So here's right behind me. So that box on the couch in the middle there, that is Poxus. All unboxed, but in a box. The figures there are ones that I've been testing custom heads on. Those boxes there are various stuff that I've got or that is going out. That's the painting table, so we move around to the left. So you see a lot of your stuff on that painting table, Rich.
I love it.
A lot of cables on the floor. Then we move, oh no, that's the wrong way. Then we move to the actual display, which used to be beautifully done, each shelf by faction, and I put another bunch of shelf there for more stuff. Kind of got overtaken now by the table and stuff. So that needs to be tidied up. But, like there's a pile of figures there on the top left of the middle shelf there that are just lying on each other because I was looking for different parts from them. But you see there, Rich, the custom Rich there in the top left, sitting on the barrel in the Noble Bear shelf. So
it's where it belongs, in the right place. Yeah.
You see the boxes down the bottom shelf on the left they're all just lying on the ground waiting for their buddies to come along.
That bottom shelf basically is my current display. They're all just lying down. I put all the risers in, but I'm going around to actually standing the figures up and tacking them down and putting stands on that sort of thing. They're all just having a sleep at the moment.
Yeah, so here's the kind of other side, some details. There's Cosmics. That Cosmic Wave 1 just decided, or the Cosmic Wave 2 just decided to fall over. I think, no, that was the bad guys, Slog. I have these kind of separated more by the good guys and the bad guys for the moment.
Yeah, same.
Slog decided to take a tumble. I haven't got around to fixing him up yet.
Takes everyone else out as he does, yeah.
Yeah, that's all my paint's on that paint shelf. So you see the gaps there, all the shit that's on the table. So this is, at least the podcast setup looks okay there on the left. And the shelf to the right used to have a lot more Lego on, but I had to kind of shift that out to the kids. There's still some Lego on the top there that probably needs to go. And then custom heads rack with painted and unpainted heads, kind of work in progress. Yeah, and that big colourful box there is what I've been airbrushing against when I've been airbrushing. So, yeah, professional. But yeah, as I say, I blame the podcast.
Don't worry, John. The airbrushing station at the Four Horseman studio isn't a lot more advanced than that. So.
Cool. Glad to know. So here's what we should be aiming for. So Mal, talk us through.
Yeah, so that's my main bit of display. I haven't got a lot of space, but I'm lucky enough to have a little spare office slash.
So I haven't been in your room. I would say your room is maybe 3 foot by 3 foot smaller than my space.
Oh, so, yeah, I mean, it's not far off 3 foot by 3 foot, is it? Let's be fair.
Okay, no, this is about, my room is about, I'd say 15 feet by 12 maybe.
Yeah, this is very small, isn't it? A very small square room, radiator on one wall, which unfortunately takes up a lot of space.
We all have the radiator problem,
Yeah, so this is...
genuine. So I was going to say, I had the genuine conversation with my missus about whether I could take the radiator off the wall to make more space. It didn't go as well as I'm hoping. I was hoping it would. Let's put it that way. So we still have a radiator in the room.
No, you need the radiator, otherwise you get damp and all that, don't you? So, and then your figures suffer. So, so this is my main bit of display. I've got a Billy bookcase with glass doors and a detail for either side.
Sweet,
yeah,
I really like that. This is
my painting area,
customizing area. This is how it should look like, guys.
You say that, but there's a pile of paint behind the chair that you can't see that's just dumped there because I couldn't be bothered to put it back. And this pile here is figures that are sort of ideas that I've started and and left for one reason or another, and bits of ideas.
I see the cardboard boxes behind the chair that we don't get to see in such pictures.
Right. Let's not point out the cardboard box.
Look at this beautiful exclusives display. This is how you should display your exclusives, and then the Dark 4 as well.
Yeah, and obviously when Necronominus comes along, you'll have to go underneath boxes.
Yeah.
The only the problem is my Sir Gerard is not signed, so I might have to take that with me to Legions Con to get Jeremy to sign that for me. Warrior Beast only got the one, but I wanted to keep him in box just because the box was so cool. So when they eventually do an in-stock sale for him, I'll hopefully get hold of
Maybe they'll do the regular in September. Who knows?
I wondered if they'd do that.
Yeah.
I wondered if that's what we get. But yeah, all the rest are signed.
Do you not have the box? Dimitros or Dimistros?
I do. He's just not on there because he wouldn't fit. But yeah, I do. Yeah,
this is in Mal's bedroom.
Yeah,
where the boudoir everybody can get.
This is my favourite.
Ask the ladies if they like to play with toys
and the figure obscura, is it?
Yeah, that's it. And then the customs at the bottom, that some of which don't have, most of which that are mine don't have weapons.
So
because I'm rubbish
Eric Miller from the Mythic Enablers, he has like a skeleton and another figure on his nightstand, but this is how it's really done.
Yeah, this is it. Another detail. I want to get a box for the glass container kind of thing for the on top of there to put the two horsemen in. There's only one horseman in there at the moment, but I'll put the two horsemen at the top, and that'll give more space for figure.
So that's the retailer and the regular headless horseman.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm a sucker for repaints, and this is the wall behind my desk. So.
Yeah. So of course we have to have some technology in front and lights and stuff. That's fine.
Yeah.
So there's some DC figs.
Yeah, I tended to not unbox the DC figures because most of them weren't very good for posing anyway. A couple of these were, well, the two at the bottom were pretty hard to get hold of, so I didn't want to take them out of box. They were in the last couple of waves of DC Multiverse, so I left them in box. And the same with the glare from the windows covering, blinding them a bit there. But that's the DC movie Penguin and DC movie Joker as well. They weren't particularly easy to get hold of, so I kept them in box as well. And then, there's my sort of in-box display.
Nice. So Spider-Man, some classic package Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, it was mainly, it's just they were my favourite outfits and it's the classic sort of Spider-Man outfit, red and blue, the black suit Spidey, symbiote Spidey in Spider-Man 2099. They actually updated Spider-Man 2099 recently, and I prefer with the articulation and on the buck of the other two, which I kind of want to get, but they did him in the box without the without the plastic cover, so it kind of becomes pointless if you're going to keep them in box. Then underneath I've got the gaming Spider-Man, because I loved the colour on that, which again they've also done that with the him. And then Venom, I love Venom. He's my favourite, probably my favourite Marvel villain / hero.
Pity about the movies.
Yeah, they do enough. They're not brilliant.
Yeah, they are what they are. Yeah. It's a pity they couldn't be of the level of some of the other ones, you know.
Well, number 3 comes out soon, so we'll see how it concludes.
Yeah, that looks like it could be interesting. I'm quite looking forward to that. And then at the top, I've got me Arkham Asylum, because they were rubbish for posing, so they might as well stay in the box, and they look better
they
in the
look
box
good in the
out of
box.
it. DC Multiverse, Dark Knight Returns, is it? Dark Knight Returns figures. I've got them in box and out of box because why not? And then
we're fans of those movies.
Yeah. A couple of McFarlane figures that I just thought were cool, including again the Arkham Asylum figures. Again, I've got them in box and out of box. Yeah.
Sweet. Death figures then. Oh,
this is the overflow. Turtles? Yeah, it's kind of the overflow.
That little Brave Star that you showed us as well at some stage.
Overflow / desk buddies. The turtles are definitely more desk buddies, because I can't help myself keep looking at them and playing with them. It's a bit of an overflow for the others, though.
There's some Motu Origins there as well.
Yeah, there's all sorts. There's Motu Origins, Turtles of Grayskull cartoon.
You've obviously been playing with the Bastet. She's lying down.
She does not stand up. Those feet,
okay.
As cool as they are, those feet are not the best for standing.
I have unboxed them and messed around with them, but I haven't put them on display, so I don't know that. Amazing.
Anubis is fine. It's just Bastet, because they're a bit smaller.
2.0 rich, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't get me started.
Don't get me started. Well, we got to get started on your room before we finish up. So this is, I believe, the new how the new display is going to look when you're finished.
Yeah, so I've got white Billy bookcases. I've got 4 of them. There's 1 on this particular wall and then 3 on the wall next to it. My display room's tiny. It's only 7.5 foot by 8 foot, and there's a radiator in there, so I am limited.
Yeah, we could get an idea of their
space-wise. But yeah, so I built myself some I extended the shelves out. You can see there that the backing board stops and the shelves keep coming, so I just got some sheets and cut those up. I then built my own risers, the wooden risers you can see there, because I quite like, I want to get as many figures as I can in because I'm limited to space. But I'm not a fan, and I know a lot of people do it, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm not a fan of having them all on the same level. I like to have them slightly above each other. Even if, you can't see a lot of the figure, I still like to have just that little bit raised. So there's my couple of Lithia brood shelves. There's more on it than that now, but that's the last picture I took of it. And then to move on to the next one, John.
Yeah, no problem. There you go.
Probably the one after is probably a better one, actually. There we go. So this is from at least a year ago, maybe a bit longer now, actually. But again, you can see the sort of thing that I do. So it's a white Billy bookcases. There's some different risers built in there that were a pain in the backside to to build because you try sawing thick like perspex, and it's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see the sort of look I go for there. You can see there's a lot of figures lying down, which is typical of my display because I'll move something around and then it'll topple over and then I'll just leave it there for a little bit. But that's the sort of look I go for.
It's still cool, like there's stuff going on. You kind of sell yourself short too much that they're all like, kind of straight down armed. But no, there's a bit going on here.
There's a bit. There's a Marvel Legends Hulk on the bottom left there.
Yeah, he's having a real go.
He's unhappy. He's very unhappy.
Yeah, love it. This big slide of nerdiness then to finish us off. This is kind of utopia, what you could do.
Yeah, this is how I plan out. I probably do more planning than actually displaying of my figures because I am a spreadsheet nerd. But this is how I do it. So I'll, each faction, be it a original faction or one that I've designed, come up with myself, got their own colours, and then it goes there. So like the top left, for instance, I think that's Order of Ethron and Noble Bear sharing a shelf. Yeah. I might swap to Noble Bears in the corner, to be honest, rather than a bit more in the middle there, but that's by the by. And then next to it, there's
always having a shot.
Then next to it, there's the Army of Odysseus, and then half a shelf of Army of Odysseus and Legion of Marathon, and then Legion of Marathon underneath. So that's how I can visualize it all.
Yeah,
and I love color coding stuff. So that's how I do it. And then I got another more detailed sheet where it's actually got each and every figure and where I want them on that shelf.
That just stresses me out, because it's like trying to live up to that.
I have to do that, otherwise I can't do it properly. So I'm in the middle of redoing that mega sheet at the moment, just moving a couple of things around, getting rid of a couple of things that are in there that I've decided to sell on eBay. The Jones 1, 2, 3, 4, and that sort of stuff. But yeah, so that's how I like to display. I like white rather than black. I tried detolfs in the past, but the glass, they all blend in a little bit too much for me. So I quite like the stark sort of white look to shelf. So, and then I'm going to have a bit
more. Because you can't get details anymore.
You can't. No, I've got 3 in the garage, but they probably won't be used again for a while.
I think
on eBay.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think if I had more space, I'd probably have more billies. Yeah, realistically, I agree. I think they are a bit better.
Yeah, I think they're nice. They're nice.
Yeah.
And then on the opposite wall, to where those 3 billies were, I want to get a couple more bookcases. The radiators, it's just in the way, stopping me doing exactly what I want. Yeah. I might have to put some shelves on the wall, maybe above that, to get a few more things in.
The Calaxes, I've been pondering them. They are good. The cubes.
Yeah, they're good as well. The problem is you need lighting in the back of them because they're very deep.
Yeah.
And if you get a couple of figures in the back, even if you have them on risers or something, they just get lost.
I'm sat here looking directly at one of those. We used to keep all Holly's toys in, but now that she's older, then there's obviously a lot less in them. So it's still here though. I keep saying to Kerry, it's like, we could get a 5-foot fish tank in there. That's a perfect size space.
Yeah, or your seasonal figure obscuras.
Exactly.
Well, that was fun. So if you've got this far, let us know what you think goes with Legions. Drop us a message on our Facebook page, thereligionpodcast@gmail.com, if you want to pretend to be working, and you can write us an email instead. Instead of being on Facebook or something like that, that's a good plan. Pass an hour in the morning at work, put loads of bullet points in it and everything. Join our Patreon. You get onto your Discord and chat to loads of these awesome people. It's a lovely place. That was fun. We got a lot of chat out of that. There's loads of stuff there for you. If you really are confused about some of those figures, all the pictures are over on the YouTube. So go check that out after you've listened to it on the audio, like I would. All right. Thanks, guys. Nothing else to say.
I pretty much lost my voice, so I'm done.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Rich is going to be complaining of a sore throat tomorrow. But at least it won't just be my audio track that's got full of stuff on it this week. There'll be a big section where it's just Rich talking about his shelves and like, oh look, I'm very quiet for once. Cheers, boys.
Stay safe out there, everybody. Don't let a shelf in your unit fall on you.
Or a Schleck dragon.
thought you said shit dragon. Hopefully we don't get one of those.